Yeah, Step Up Football today, and Ida PoliticsToday joins us. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today. You know, while talking about this list, and I thought, okay, Mr. Ida PoliticsToday, there's no Minister of Sports now, so I'm not sure anybody's in that camp meeting the Falcons right now to distract them. But you never know, let me not count those chicks, so it's maybe too early. But go ahead and talk to us about this, because, I mean, yes, it took a number of people by surprise, this particular victory. Pleasant surprise at that. Because many thought, okay, that draw was good enough, but there you go. Then you had a victory. So, of course, you equally be as happy as several other people. But give us your impression about that match and how you saw it.
I thought you were talking about the list and expecting my name on the list. We're all excited. Yeah, we're all excited. And the beauty of the victory of yesterday is that it's been a long time, very long while, whether the female team or the male team, that Nigeria has been excited like this. We've always been used to this kind of joy and happiness. And it's we've not seen that for a long time. But yesterday was something unbelievable. You know, it reminded us of the 1994 Super Eagles. It reminded us of the years back where we used to get so excited about this game. And again, kudos to these girls. No one ever believed at the beginning of the game in the group where I was expecting that we would lose 4-0, 3-0. We're just praying that the goals would be very few. You know, but they shocked us, absolutely shocked us. And there's been this buzz in the air. We've been so excited that hope has come back to Nigerian football.
So, from that first match where we're going to draw, comparing that performance with this last one, what improvements did you clearly see?
Well, I think we made a few changes. We were Ajibade coming into the team, and maybe they bring in Kanu into the team. These two changes really changed the team. For me, Ajibade was just unbelievable. She's the Daniel Omokachi, or the bull of the Falconet. She came in and held that middle. You know, we saw the first game against Canada. Yes, we just defended and we could not move forward. But in this case, when Ajibade came in, look at her. Every time the ball is won, she moves with the ball to the opponent's half. You know, and you needed this carrier, we call them carriers in football, that can move the ball. That's the kind of role Ronald Messi plays, even though he scores, where you need a carrier that can take the ball from the central midfield and help the strikers, which he did yesterday. And it brought a lot of fear, you know, to the opponents.
You know, let me ask you this. I mean, I know coaches normally say, if you don't concede, you can't lose. So,
yes.
Was it a deliberate strategy from your perspective? Did we actually set out to, okay, you know what, let's go ahead and defend and then build from the back? Or was it a reaction to us having that red card with our pocket rocket there who missed the match? So, how did you see this, the tactics as it came through?
Well, firstly, kudos must go to the technical crew, because if you remember, in the last 7-8 games, we've lost. You know, we kept losing. We lost to Morocco. We lost to South Africa. You know, so we kept losing. I think something different was done in this team, especially the captain of the team was replaced, AB. You know, as she's 40 years, kudos to her that she could go to the World Cup, the 6th World Cup she's appearing in. But there was a tilting in that defense. You know, we kept conceding goals, and our goalkeeper, my goodness gracious, I think she can even play in the men's team. That's how good.
I hear you.
That's how good she is. So we set the defense proper. You know, look at the first game, like you mentioned. In the first game, Ajibade was on suspension, so we couldn't play her. Tactically, the coaches got it right. And when they did not play Oshola, you know, in our group we were discussing, was Oshola left out really because of her injury, or she was left out because she's becoming a burden, you know, because all eyes were on Oshola, and she wasn't given everything we needed. So her being put on the bench yesterday, there was no big man, if you will call it, in the team. Everyone wanted to play. And you could see when she came into the second half, this was Oshola we knew. She wanted to prove to herself that she wasn't finished. She wanted to prove herself that she could still lead the attack of Nigeria. So tactically, they got it right. Tactically, they got it right. The commitment, they got it right. We just think that they're heading towards the right side. Our problem, our biggest fear is pay the girls. We don't want to hear any story in the camp. Pay the girls.
Well, that's certainly a placard I'll be co-hosting alongside other Nigerians. I mean, that the girls need to be paid. I mean, the girls, their motivation needs to be sustained. But, you know, from what I see, I was just telling Chamberlain that, you know, much as I haven't exactly been watching the matches, but at least what I see on social media, you know, the verve, their enthusiasm, it cannot be faulted. You see them doing a lot of PR, dancing, keeping their spirits up in general. It would seem that they've been doing a fantastic work in that area and showing, advertising to the world what Nigeria is capable of. So let me ask you, we're talking about we saw a pretty decent scoreline. Australia wasn't just taking that line low. They eventually, you know, returned some consolatory goal towards the end of the match. So 3-2 was what the game was at the end of the day. What are your thoughts in terms of moving forward, our next opponent? Do you think that we will still be able to keep top of the table, or do you have any fears as we move forward? Because sometimes we see this. We might not have done very well in our first match. We do really well in the second one, and somehow it would seem that we relax somewhat in the third.
Thank you. I'm surprised, Mark, you were not watching because we were looking for a sports minister. And we're thinking of recommending you. But any which way, it's going to be a very, very dicey game. They are playing against an island side that have lost 2 games. But again, look at the results. The 2 games the island lost. The first game they lost 1-0 2-1 to Canada. The second game they lost 1-0 to this same Australian team. So they are not a bad side. I watched a friendly game they played against France, and they beat France 2-1. But the thing is, what are they playing for? But they are not like a typical African side that will say we're out of the tournament and then we'll just go and lie down. It's going to be a very difficult game for Nigeria. But what we have going for us, remember we have +2 now, or +1 goal aggregate, and Canada would have to cancel Australia. That's where we think we can survive it. We don't have to lose. Even if we lose, we don't have to lose 2-0. If we lose 1-0, we can still qualify, depending on what both sides play. But if they do play a draw, it becomes dicey. We expect Australia to come and win. Remember, they're playing at home and they've invested so much money, and they're not a bad side. So hopefully Australia wins and we qualify. I've been looking at the permutations to see if there's a 10th best team. I don't know that yet. So if we do qualify as the 10th best team in the tournament, we could still go through. We need to come and get a draw. Come for the win. If we get a draw, hooray, then we're into the last 16.
How do we approach this match? Should we play the best possible side, or let the other legs on the team come through, give us that grit and move forward? What would you advise?
No. We have to come and play. This is a tournament you've been preparing for a year. There are no less legs or less size. They have been in training. They have been in camp. The fitness level should be top peak. So there's no time to rest any player. You need 6 games. Every tournament you go to, you put it in your head, you need to play 6 games. And the 6 games takes you to the finals. So all these players are professionals now. They should be able to be ready to play 6 games. Remember, the next game should be on Monday, I suppose Monday, 11 o'clock. So you have enough time. You have 4 days, 3 days to rest. And we hope that they will come out to play. All eyes will be on Nigeria. And secondly, the fans will be against Nigeria. No one will support Nigeria. Remember, we just beat their darling team, the Matildas. So all eyes will be on the island side to support them so that Nigeria can be jittery for Australia to qualify. So they have to bring the best, and we hope that the best will do well enough to win.
And I think that this fits right next to my question, because it's a big danger. Australia and New Zealand are co-hosting this tournament, and some people will say it's a big danger when, for Women's World Cup, when we've been trying to get eyeballs on it. Never mind that I didn't watch it yesterday. I was on the news. I was able to read the results on the news. But we're trying to get eyeballs, more people interested in women's football. Australia and New Zealand co-hosting this. And, you know, there are fears that, well, not at our own expense, we certainly want to be in the next round. But do you express any about, you know, the hosting teams falling out of this competition?
Well, you know, the good thing about World Cup tournaments is not just based on the games themselves. These tickets are so prior to the World Cup. Already, by estimation, they've already sold, I think, did they say 100, how many millions already? So basically, the tickets have been sold to the finals. So it really doesn't matter. You know, we were in Qatar, I was in Qatar, and Qatar was knocked out of the first round, but the stadiums were still packed. But the momentum is always good because the city, the nation falls behind the tournament when the host is still active. So the prayer is that, okay, we want to see the host keep going because the bars in the city is quite different, right, if they're not in the tournament. So we're crossing our fingers and saying, yes, I want Australia to qualify. And if Canada is knocked out, Nigeria steps in. And again, hopefully, if we do, just all we need to do is to push to win. Once we win, we qualify automatically, and hopefully Australia will be the runners-up in our group.
Yes, Mr. Peter said it's been interesting, you know, and, you know, quite heartwarming to watch the girls, even though I confess also I haven't been watching a lot of the games, but to see that the girls are motivated, particularly after this win in this game with Australia. One of the names, I'd like you to, you know, just talk us through the names that can be commended, you know, in the two games so far. I understand that the goalkeeper is one to watch out for, Chiamaka Nnadozie. She saved another penalty. And also to relate it with the coach, how he has sustained an understanding of the placement of the players, you know, for the game so far.
Well, we've had stand-up players in this in the tournament already. Like you just called Chiamaka, she's been the most outstanding of the players. She's as calm as a cucumber. We saw her yesterday, unbelievable calmness. With all the pressure, tension, she's been able to handle the team. Ohale too. Ohale, you know, has come in again in the central defense. We saw her score a goal yesterday, even though she was kicked in the chest yesterday, but she's done so well. And yesterday we saw, I just mentioned her name now, coming to the midfield. We've had pockets of great players, you know, as stand Ajibade, yes, Ajibade. We've had pockets of players stand out in this team. But collectively, that's a sign of a very good team. A sign of a very good team is when you pick out a player and say, this player has been so fantastic and the other players have been useless. That's the difference between this team. They've all been outstanding, from the goalkeeping department to the attackers. We've scored 3 goals in the World Cup. The last time we ever even scored goals, in our last 2 World Cups, we hardly scored goals. We saw the pressure we faced at the WAFCON, where the women played the WAFCON in Morocco. We had challenges of scoring goals. Now in 2 games, we've scored 3 goals. It does magic to the team, that the team is scoring. Yes, we've conceded 2 goals, you know, but the 2 goals we've conceded, it would have been worse. Okay, we have 4 points. In a World Cup, a point is like a diamond. Now we've seen them get 4. We've seen them get 4 points. Hopefully, you know, we would get 7 points. Again, let's go back to the coaching. There's been, before the World Cup, there was this squabbles with the coaches, the NFF, and then complaining, the NFF calling the coach the worst coach that has ever coached the Super Falcons because of monetary issues. Again, when we started, I had already mentioned pay the girls. We must get to the point where every kind of fracas is eliminated in the team. It has been the bane of Nigerian football that every time we go for tournaments like this, money issues will come out. I remember when Danagogo was Minister of Sports, the players were not paid, and the Goodluck Jonathan chartered a jet and sent money to Brazil for the team to be paid. The same thing almost showed up in this World Cup. Thank goodness, FIFA has come out and said every player participating in the World Cup will be paid $30,000. At least that cushions everything. And again, once they announced that, the NFF came out and said the money should be paid to them, NFF, for them to pay the players. And FIFA said, no, this will not happen. We will pay directly to the players. But they've been away from their families.
Yeah.
They've been in camp for months. They must be compensated. Thank goodness the First Lady has come out to say she's supporting the team. I saw a video of her yesterday, jumping and dancing. I heard she spoke to the girls before they came for the game. The interest has intensified. And once it is intensified, then it's better for the team because all eyes will be on the team.
You know what they say, success has many friends. Failure is an orphan. I mean, everybody wants to be associated with a success, or at least a successful person. I understand even the president had put out a statement before the match wishing them the very best. So we look forward to this translating to, sustainability for our sport. But I know that you vied for NFF top job at some point, and I imagine you had some ideas in terms of resolving this perennial issue of funds not being paid and all of that. I mean, I don't think FIFA would always step into our issues. Sometimes, of course, if you don't get to that level, you will not have FIFA stepping in. So what exactly is and I want us to maybe round off on this very important point. We celebrate the girls, absolutely. But what is one thing that is important, that is responsible for that challenge? NFF said that, well, they have mega resources and Coach Waldrum allegedly wants them to waste that on him. There's been a lot of messy back and forth. But what is really responsible for this? For as long as I've lived, these issues have been there.
Well, it will always be there. You need somebody with guts to take decisions. We're talking about carrying overload. Already, as I speak to you, you have close to 14 to 15 board members already there at the World Cup. What are they doing there? All of them are there. They all be paid. Every appearance, I do know that every board member gets close to $3,000 just for being there. Doing what? Doing absolutely nothing. And they're complaining about funds. You have to manage. You have to manage the system. Everything starts and ends with leadership. Again, monies are being expanded. Okay, FIFA gave Nigeria $978,000 to run this World Cup. So what are you doing with it? Why carry a luggage of people? You pay for the media, you pay for board members. Like I said, close to 15 board members are there. You pay for hotel rooms for them. You pay business class tickets for them. What are they doing there? You don't need them. There are people that are specifics that should be there. That has been the issue, the ability to manage what we have. And that's what we're complaining about. Even in Nigeria, you hear the kind of entourage that travel with these people. We need to get people that are professional enough to manage what is professional. And once we get that going, all these little lapses will not be there. I think that's my opinion. You don't carry everybody to New Zealand because they voted for you.
Oh dear, very important point you raised there. But just on a final note, Mr. Peterside, the ministerial list, we need to talk about it.
Yes.
Do you see any Minister of Sports in that first batch already, or you just wait for the second batch?
I want to be careful what I say. My governor, former Governor Wike, is a pillar of sports. Maybe that might not fit him, but he's a massive pillar of sports. What he has done in Rivers State concerning sports is out of this world. For me, my private prayer is make Wike the Minister of Sports, but that might be a little bit lower ministry for him. I don't know. I've looked at the list. In and out, but I hear there are still more names coming out. But Wike is a pillar of sports. He loves sports. He's done so much for sports in Port Harcourt. I am aware of that. Build academies and taking care of the state teams. One of the teams that have not been owed ever in Rivers State League, in Nigeria League, is the Rivers United team. So I've seen him do so much for sport, but that's not my position. I hope I'm not saying I'm giving him a lesser position.
Well, it'll be very interesting because, it'll be nice to see ex-internationals in different sports across the board also get involved in the administration of the game. Nwankwo Kanu, we know he's now doing something for Abia State in Enyimba. Finidi George, we also saw his involvement. Daniel Mokochi also been there. So several people should also come back to the game. Maybe yourself in Rivers, who knows? So we'd like to see sports across board also get their own improvement and contribution. We'd like to thank you, Ida Peterside, for your perspectives here today.